Hello and welcome to the first video for Jenkins Home Theater. My name is Jesse and I created this channel here to share my love of watching movies, talking about movies, collecting movies, buying movie collectibles like Funko Pops, movie posters, anything like this that you see behind me. We're going to discuss it. We'll show it off. This channel will be mainly me, but will also feature my son and possibly my wife and maybe some guest speakers, like maybe if my brother's in town he'll come on, friends, family, any of that. Might be have some other people on here. That way we get a mix of opinions on here. It's always nice to have a mix of opinions. That's the whole point of this channel. That's why I'd love for you guys to comment too. Comment, let us discuss it. Anything you want to talk about. A little about myself. I've been watching movies for as long as I can remember, starting with probably Jurassic Park. I think that's the first movie memory I have. It was at a drive-in theater, and my parents were afraid I might be scared, but I was not. Instead, I front seat, watched it the whole time. Eyes didn't leave the screen. I was into it. Steven Spielberg got me right then and there. So, obviously we went to drive-in theater. We went to the theaters. But the big thing we did was we rented videos from Blockbuster. Yeah, Blockbuster. Hopefully most of you know what a Blockbuster is. We went there like pretty much every weekend and we'd watch movies together. I watched the first Halloween, Alien, Aliens, Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember renting all of these and watching them. Then, about 2007, when I graduated high school, moved out, my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, we would go to Blockbuster, we would go to FYE, we would go to Silk Coast almost daily. We'd be reserving new movies coming out, buying new movies, buying older movies, just working on our collection. We also used to go to the theater pretty much every weekend. I do miss that. I'm going to have to definitely start that up again. But we go to the theater almost every weekend and watch whatever new movie came out. So, I do miss that. Having a kid kind of makes that a little bit more difficult, but maybe we'll try it again. So, in 2008, I ended up actually getting a job at one of the FYs we would shop at. I was with that company until 2016. I went from associate to assistant manager to store manager. And then 2016, they broke my heart by closing down the store I was managing. Now, they just happened to do that with a bunch of stores, and my own was one of the stores that got the cut. They pretty much went towards being mall stores, and so any freestanding store was kind of closed out. Mine, unfortunately, was in the freestanding market, so mine was one of the ones they closed. Since they closed that one, since then, 2016, I've been working in a local movie store called the House of Used. It is here in Arizona. We do dollar rentals. We do buying, selling. It's an awesome place. I love being there. And if you're ever in Arizona, feel free to stop by and check us out. Now, movie tastes. I'm a big fan of horror, sci-fi, action films. So most movies I will talk about will probably be horror-based, sci-fi-based, action-based. That's where my son and my wife come in. They're the ones that get me to watch movies outside of those genres that I don't normally venture into. I mean, I do like kids' movies, but I don't watch a lot of kids' movies. Well, I do now that my kids watches movies, but before it wasn't a big thing for me to watch kids movies. So we'll get some kids movies in here. We'll have my son talking with me, get two opinions on that. Probably do the same thing with my wife for dramas, romantic comedies, things of that nature. Okay. Big thing about this channel, I am not a big movie critic. I don't look at, when I go into a movie, I don't go, that's horrible acting. That's not good cinematography. That's great cinematography. Yes, those things are important. And yes, I do notice those things. But I also want a movie just to be entertaining to me. Like when we have a movie like Godzilla vs. Kong, the humans are in there, but they are not important. They're literally there just to kind of move the story along. Story that doesn't really need to be there. You could give me a movie straight up of Kong fighting Godzilla, no humans, and I'd probably be happy. But I understand something needs to be done. It's one of those things that it's not going to win any awards for the acting. Might win something for CGI. But you know, the fight scenes were amazing. The acting was enough not to pull me out of the movie. So I enjoyed it. Um, which is what this channel is about. Did I enjoy the movie? Will I rewatch the movie? How did I really feel about the movie? I'm not really gonna, unless it's a movie specifically designed to win awards and stuff like that. I'm probably not gonna nitpick it that much. I'm just gonna be like, it entertained me, worth a watch, potentially a rewatch, things like that. So, with that in mind, we're gonna talk about my top 10 favorite movies. So, I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro, Steven Spielberg, and James Wan. Unfortunately, none of James Wan's movies make it into my top 10. I just love what he's done for the horror genre. He's one of the few directors making great horror movies nowadays, and I appreciate him for it. The Conjuring 1 and 2, two of my favorite horror movies come out in the last couple years. Same with Insidious 1 and 2. So, and then he also did Aquaman and gave us the actual really good Saw movie in the first one before it became extremely bloody and all crazy. All crazy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go over my top 10 movies. So coming in at number 10 is a movie that a lot of people consider one of the greats. And I do love it. It's Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Now, my wife is a big fan of Fellowship of the Ring. I like that movie. It's a good movie. But honestly, Return of the King is better. And that's why it's on my top 10, not Fellowship. Number 9 would be Predator, the first one, the original. That movie gave us one of the greatest sci-fi monsters I've ever seen. And I've been obsessed with Predator. I've collected Predator toys. I watch all the behind the scenes stuff on the Predator stuff because I'm just fascinated with the Predator. I read the comics, most of the comics. I just loved Predator. Number 8 is Scream. Wes Craven, I miss you, but Wes Craven made some of the best horror movies out there. Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, all the Screams actually. He did all the Screams. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. There's some good stuff that Wes Craven has done, and he is missed in the horror community. But Scream is my favorite of his. Just what he does with the slasher genre is amazing. He twisted the slasher genre around with Nightmare on Elm Street. Did it again with Scream. I think he did it better with Scream. I think Scream is amazing. Number 7. The only kids movie on this list, but it is required to be on this list, and that is The Lion King. I have so many memories of this movie. I have a tattoo of Scar on my arm. I just love The Lion King. Mufasa, Scar, some of the greatest Disney characters in my opinion. Now coming in at number 6 is what we've already talked about, Jurassic Park, the original. Now, I do enjoy all the Jurassic Park films. I do enjoy them. But the number 1 is the only one to me that deserves to be anywhere even near my top 10. It's an amazing movie. It's a great movie. Fantastic. Number 5. Now this is a movie that a lot of people may not have heard of, but it is a Guillermo del Toro movie, and it is a Spanish film, which means most likely most of you will probably have to watch it with subtitles. But I love ghost stories, And this to me is one of the best ghost stories out there. It's called The Devil's Backbone. Now, if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's absolutely amazing. To me, the subtitles did not having to read subtitles did not take me out of the movie. I enjoyed it just as much as I would have without. So, Devil's Backbone, amazing. Number 4, John Carpenter's The Thing. Don't really say much about this film. If you're a sci-fi horror person, you know about this film. Must be watched. One of the greatest. Actually, the next 2 on this list, same thing. Because number 3, we have Jaws. I don't need to say much about that. One of the greatest movies Steven Spielberg ever made. It's the shark to me still looks great even today. Much better than the CGI sharks we got in like Deep Blue Sea and a lot of these other shark movies. Absolutely amazing. Number 2 is Alien. Now, you might be asking, where's Aliens? I think Aliens is better. Good for you. That's the point. We can disagree. We can have a conversation. Aliens, I love Aliens. I think Aliens did a lot of stuff for the franchise, but it also took Aliens more in the action route rather than the horror route, which is why I love the first Alien. First Alien is straight up sci-fi horror. Aliens is more sci-fi action. It does have some horror elements, but it's more action than it is horror, which is why I love the first one so much more. But the Alien Predator franchise are 2 of my favorite franchises. So I love Aliens, but Alien is better. Number 1, like I said, I'm a big Del Toro fan, and to me, his greatest movie still is Pan's Labyrinth. The creature designs, the story, all of it is absolutely amazing. And it has been probably my number 1 movie for the last however long it's been out. But I remember actually buying it with my wife. We one of those movies we bought at FYE, and I watched it at my dad's house. My parents were divorced. Watched it at my dad's house. I actually got staying in the RV that we had in the driveway, and so I watched it in there. Loved it. Absolutely amazing. It's just awesome to have memories with these movies too. And Pan's Labyrinth's one of those ones that I can tell you exactly where I was when I watched it. So that's my top 10 movies. Give me your top 10 in the comments. That way we can talk about it. If you agree with me, you disagree with me, that's fine. Comment. We'll have a conversation. That's the whole point of this channel. In the future, we'll be doing obviously more videos, more reviews, might do top 10 lists. My goal is by the beginning of October to have a 31 Halloween horror movie list out, as well as a family-friendly Halloween list out. That one we will do with my son, while the other one will be just me. But I want to get it out by the beginning of October. That way you have all of October to watch it if you want to go through it. Now, the next video I think we'll post up is going to be my son's top 10 movies, because he's working on his list as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. He'll introduce himself. We'll do his 10 movies. All of that. So if you're interested in all of that, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way you know when we post a new video and you can come watch it. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video, making it all the way through. And we'll catch you next time in Jenkins Home Theater.